What's up, gangsters? It's a sunny afternoon, and I'm sitting here in my nice warm workshop looking at lots of things going on, but unfortunately, several of my projects are kind of stalled, so I've decided to make a couple of videos. Now, this first one I think is a lot of fun, but I'll just tell you right up front that a bunch of you guys are already shaking your heads because you saw the title and you're like, whatever, dude, because it's about masking tape. I know, but look, bear with me. I promise this has a point. So, look, masking tape is a fact of life for all of us, right? And I think it's fair to say that if you took a poll, most people would say that their favorite masking tape is your good old standby Tamiya tape, right? It's good stuff, works great. Does everything that we need masking tape to do. Comes in, you get nice dispensers that you can put it in. It's very handy stuff. Unfortunately, one thing about Tamiya tape that's not so perfect is the price, right? I mean, one of these will set you back about $7, and a refill probably another $5. So if you're like me and you would prefer not to be constantly spending a lot of money on masking tape, what you probably do is use the good stuff for your edges, and then you fill in with something like this, right, from Ye Olde Hardware Store. Now this roll in particular is frog tape. Now, if you're like me, hopefully you're saying, well, which frog tape? Because this is another one of those things where we like to, where people often like to speak in generalities. And while there is only one kind of Tamiya tape, there are a number of kinds of frog tape. This stuff is allegedly the delicate surface frog tape. And this roll is, I guess it's okay. I mean, it serves the purpose, but I really actually kind of hate it. It seems to be pretty unpredictable in whether or not it'll even stick. Some days it sticks great. In fact, it'll stick so much that it'll yank paint off. And then some days it won't stick at all. So it's kind of like a magic. It's very unpredictable. I don't really know what the deal is with it. It's kind of stiff. It's kind of hard to tear. I just don't like this stuff. But I use it because, like you guys, I don't want to spend up all my Tamiya tape just doing fill masking. So, at any rate, one day, not too long ago, I was surfing the old interwebs. And I think it was on Facebook, as a matter of fact, and I saw a mention of something called kabuki tape. And then, oddly enough, within a week, I saw another mention of kabuki masks. I think it was somebody asking about Montex masks, whether they preferred the vinyl or the kabuki. And several well-known model makers, including my buddy Matt McDougall, said kabuki was the best. Now, I immediately was curious. I had never heard this term. What is this kabuki masking material? I thought, look, if this is something that only these super high-speed model makers like Matt know about, I need to find out so I can get me some. Anyway, so eventually I decided to go looking for some research. And partly was because I already knew that kabuki is a form of Japanese dance theater. It's also a steakhouse in a town not too far from me. But I had never heard of it in reference to any sort of masking tape. Anyway, so I did some Googling. And I quickly found some threads on a model making forum that declared that kabuki is rice paper and that it's very thin and almost transparent and makes excellent masking tape. And I thought, okay, I could have quit there, but I kept going. Something just didn't seem right. And I quickly found some threads on another model making forum where there were several guys who posted a posted different forms of comments that basically said either I'm Japanese or I've lived in Japan for 10 years and I've never heard of anything called kabuki tape, nor of any reference to any masking material called kabuki. So I was very suspicious. I thought, well, okay, in kabuki theater, they wear masks, so kabuki, masks, who knows? But I kept digging. And I brought it up on in a thread on Scale Modeler's Critique Group. And one guy provided a link to a company where you could buy some masking tape that was branded kabuki tape. And I thought, okay. But I noticed down sort of on the bottom part of the picture, almost where you wouldn't see it, on the inside of the roll, like right in here, it said Komoi paper. And I thought, okay, now that's who makes this tape, and they've branded it kabuki. So I sort of filed that away in my little monkey brain. And coincidentally, I was in a thread on another Facebook group, and somebody was asking about Tamiya tape. And this guy pops up and says, well, there's much better tape out there, and it's called Kip tape. Now, I was immediately all, well, okay, let's check that out. So I found out that Kip is the name of a company in Germany that makes all kinds of masking tape. And I asked the guy, well, okay, which Kip tape? Because there's about a dozen of them. And he came back and he said, well, I like the red washi tape. And it was spelled W-A-S-H-I. And immediately I was like, okay, now we have a second mysterious high-speed masking tape. So I started doing some Googling, and I Googled the word washi. And I very quickly found out that washi is any of a number of fibrous paper types that's made and used for different things in Japan. And one of the most common types of washi paper is, guess what? Rice paper. So I was starting to get to the bottom of this mystery. So I Googled washi tape, and immediately what popped up but reference to a company called Komoi Kakoshi. And when I went to the Komoi Kakoshi website, I saw that there was no mention of anything called kabuki tape, even though those were the guys who make a brand of tape called kabuki. In fact, the word kabuki didn't appear anywhere on their website at all. But what did appear all over their website was washi tape. Because apparently, Komoi's claim to fame, their stock in trade, is masking tapes made with washi paper. So I thought, all right, very cool. And I started looking around to see if I could get some of this stuff. And wouldn't you know it, I found on Amazon, my favorite, this, because apparently washi tape has got a niche in the United States for decorating. And you can buy washi tape with all kinds of crazy patterns printed all over it. Believe it or not, these are the least goofy colors that I could find. Anyhow, so I got this whole box of washi tape, which is in these small rolls like this. And there are, let's see, 10 of them in this box. There's one missing for a reason that I'll show you here in a second. Anyway, 10 rolls of this washi tape from the Komoi Paper Company. Hold on, you can see the label right there. Hopefully that'll focus. For $13. I mean, look, this is like 3 years worth of masking tape. And here is the really cool thing. These rolls fit in the Tamiya tape dispenser roll. Look at that. How cool is that? So, This is good stuff. It's very thin. I actually think that it is exactly the same as the Tamiya tape. They're both very transparent. They appear to be made of the same material. And who knows? I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Komoi are in fact the people who make tape for Tamiya. So anyway, let's do the acid test. Here is a piece of this stuff. And here is one of my favorite paint mules, my little Revell Snap Tight F22. And it's got Jimmy D's favorite paint on it. Right here, it's got some zinc chromate green from Model Master Acryl's lineup. And I'm going to take and I'm going to stick this piece of tape on it. And I'm going to rub it down really good. And this is kind of cool because you can see through it enough to kind of know where you are, just like you can with Tamiya tape. But anyway, this stuff goes down really good, so I'm going to rub it on there as thoroughly as I possibly can, and then you know what's next, right? I'm going to take it and yank it off, and my Model Master Acryl is still 100% intact. So, I don't see anything wrong with this tape other than the fact that it's colored like Easter eggs, and I feel like I got to turn in my, my man card for having pink and purple tape on my workbench, but hey, it works. And $13 for this entire box, pretty tough to argue with that. So, there you go. If you ever run across somebody talking online about kabuki masking tape, and they insist that it's rice paper masking tape and that it's the very best, well, now you know the real secret. All right? Hope you guys found this entertaining and informative. And as always, I appreciate your time if you're still watching. All right, guys? Take care. Much love.